Hey everyone, I'm Amy Peachy with Usborne Books More, and I wanted to take a quick second to tell you guys about the very best thing that we have in our entire catalog, and that is the My First Reading Library. Now, before I joined Usborne Books More, I graduated from early childhood education, and I taught at a private reading school for 4 years. So, teaching kids to read is one of my very favorite things, and I know how difficult it can be. So when I taught at that school, this private school actually commissioned authors and illustrators to write their own books for their program. And for years and years, I didn't think there was anything else on the market that compared to those books that we had at this little reading school that I worked at. Now, fast forward to a couple years ago when I attended my very first Usborne Books and More party. It was a home party, and the consultant there was showing this set. And I was skeptical and I said, no, I don't think it's going to be as good as the product or the books that I used. But I was, I'm kind of hooked on reading, teaching kids to read. And so I wanted to check them out. The consultant told me that I could get this whole set for free if I hosted my own party. And so I did. And that began this long chain of events that led me to becoming a team leader with Usborne Books and More. And spoiler alert, this set is amazing and lives up to all the hype that you may hear about it. So I wanted to take a quick second to tell you why I love it and give you some tips on how you can utilize it in your home for teaching your kids how to read. Because like I said, I know how difficult it can be. Before I was introduced to this set, despite being a reading teacher, I struggled teaching my oldest son how to read. We fought, and it wasn't fun, and he does read, but he doesn't love it like I wish he loved it. Now, with my second child, we had this set, and I decided, let's do it. Like, I have all these other books in my home, but I want to try using just this set. And he loved it, and it was just a completely different experience for me and him. And he was reading well above grade level when he entered school, and he's still top of his class for reading. And I attribute it to this program because not only is it a fantastic program, but it is a fantastic experience because of the way that it's set up. Now, if you haven't heard about these books, the thing that's so cool about them is it's a shared reading experience with the parent or the adult or whoever is reading with the child at any time. So the parent will read this side. It says, "The night was cold, the sky was black, the window rattled," and the child will read, "Tap, tap, tap." So not only does the story become way more entertaining, you're having that shared experience. It takes the stress and the pressure off of the child, and it just becomes a fun story that you guys can share together and a fun moment. My son wanted to do it all the time because he thought it was so fun that we were both reading the book together, which changes the whole atmosphere and for teaching your child to read. Now, these books build on each other. So like you saw, Tap, 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 a very, very basic. But I want to show you how to help your child be 100% successful with each of their books that they read. So you go to the very back of the book, of every book, and it will show you the sounds that your child needs to be able to read for them to be successful with that particular book. A lot of parents don't even know that this exists, so I always say go to the back of the book before you even read. You open to the back and you review these sounds. And like I said, it builds with every level. What I always suggest is with your first 8 or so books, you go to the back, and occasionally, once you get into some of the higher levels, there will be sight words. What is a sight word? Sight words are also called unfair words. They're words that don't follow the rules. This book has of and go. So I write them on a little sticky note at the back of every book. I go through the book ahead of time, and I find those unfair, tricky sight words and prep my child ahead of time so that they know what they're going to be up against. So they aren't going to come to a word and they're like, this doesn't follow any rules. It frustrates them. But if you prepare them before you read the book, then they will be successful. So we go over the sounds first, and then we go over the unfair, tricky sight words that they're going to be introduced to. Now, the last thing I always do, we're going to, in a couple, let's see, I think about level 4 or 5, you're going to start seeing some phonograms. What are phonograms? Those are words, those are letters, combinations of letters that when you combine them together, they change their sound. So here we have AI says A, EE says E, IGH says I, OA says O, and OO says oo or And what I do is I go through the book and I underline those phonograms. So OO I've underlined, and OO here is underlined. The reason I do that is I'm trying to train my child to be watching for those phonograms. You don't have to do it for your whole series, your whole set, just in the beginning, because we are reminding them and training them to be watching for those phonograms, because they will always, when they come to a vowel, they're going to want to say the short vowel sound, but by underlining it, you're going to remind them, okay, we saw this at the back of the book. What is this say? When they are together, they're going to say a new sound. And you can even flip back to the back of the book every time they get stumped and remind them what that phonogram is, and then go back to where they are. That way, you are not saying, you're not trying to trick them. You're always preparing them for those things that they're going to be watching for. And with this set, like I said, it builds on it, and it is just a complete reading program. You don't need anything else. Just by way of explanation, once they get to book 15, that is the complete reading set, or the reading program. All of the sounds have been introduced. And then the orange set and the purple set are just practice books that will build on and just give them extra opportunities to practice what they've learned. So good luck with your sets, you guys. Like I said, this is an amazing product that we have. Even though I'm an Usborne Books and More consultant, as a reading professional, I highly recommend this. So I hope that you guys are able to get this set and use it in your families, and good luck. Happy reading.